treason! You're talking out of your asshole! Squad dump Trump and all his Putin shit into prison! Talking out of your asshole! You dumbass! 666 big traitor! You devil's insurrection! You cowardly little sissy! Fuck you! Cowardly little sissy! Suck my dick! To the right! Move back! To the right! Move
Okay, I think we'll be able to use this shot. Okay, thanks. Bye. Bye.
What a wonderful turnout.
Before we get started, I want to make sure that everybody got their wrists measured for the handcuffs when the FBI swoops in to take us all away. We all got our wrists measured, right, when we came in? It's hilarious, you're right. So listen, I want to lay out some ground rules before we get started here. Number one is that there are uniformed officers here who I demand that you respect, you're kind to, you're respectful to, and you're obedient to. They're here to keep us safe. We're counting on them to do that, and we know that they will. There's also many members of the media here. And I make the same request. I make the same request of them. You see somebody, a member of the media, be kind and respectful. They may ask you if you'd like to be interviewed. Now, if you're not used to this, I would recommend that you don't, because we've gotten a lot of misrepresentation. They're trying to say that this is a rally in support of the violent people who attacked and killed police officers on January 6th, and that is absolutely not what this is about. And that has been misrepresented continuously.
Then what is it?
So we condemn violence, political violence in all of its forms. We don't want any today, and we condemn the political violence that happened on January 6th. Anybody who engaged in that kind of violence or property destruction that day deserves to be tried with a speedy trial and found guilty, locked up for a long time. There's no argument from anybody on our side on this issue. This is about the many people who were there that day who have not been charged with violence, not been accused of assaulting a police officer, destroying property, and disparate treatment they've received. This is about equal treatment under the law. This is about a public investigation into many of the things that happened that have not been investigated publicly or third-party oversight, especially the death of Ashley Babbitt. And this is about transparency, because we have a real issue with transparency in the aftermath of January 6th. Thousands and thousands of hours of videotape denied, not just from us, but from defense attorneys who need it. Mysterious investigations into Capitol police officers' behavior, ambiguous press releases saying that some were sanctioned for something, but we're not going to say what it is. This is unheard of in police departments across the country, or if it's not, it should be. And it should be same here with the Capitol Police. So we condemn all violence, political violence. I'm demanding that you all are respectful and obedient to police officers today. In fact, I'd like to start off, can we please have a round of applause for the many police officers who are here today? We respect you. We know you have a tough job. We're not your enemy. And God bless you all. Now, what this protest is not about. It's not about President Trump. It's not about President Biden. It's not about the election. It's not about what you think happened with the election. It's not about any fringe third-party group. I already politely requested that a group that I saw with a off-message flag take it down. They were very respectful. They did that. I'm grateful. This is about justice and disparate treatment and equal treatment under the law. And I understand. I'm going to speak to the many people in the audience who look at us and say you're just Insurrection 2.0. I understand that you hate President Trump and everything about his administration. I get it. And I'm not here to argue with you about that, okay? That doesn't mean you have to hate what we're standing for today. It doesn't mean you have to hate our cause and what we're representing. That hatred is blinding you to a grave injustice being perpetrated by our government against many of our fellow citizens. And I swear to you, if this was the other way around, if this had happened to the other political party, I swear to you, I would be here today doing the exact same thing. And so would our supporters. So we're going to have a prayer to start things off, and what's a very important part of this prayer is when we're America First, we mean it. We start with a prayer, we do the pledge, we have the anthem. Included in this prayer is prayers for the Capitol police officers who've lost their lives in the aftermath of January 6th, for the many people who died on January 6th. And that's extremely unfortunate. We regret that. That shouldn't happen. And they're close to our hearts and deep in our prayers. So we're going to open with a prayer from my good friend Ned. Ned, why don't you come up here?
Good afternoon. I'd like a moment of silence for the Americans and the police officers that perished on J6. Just bow your heads and give them a couple minutes of silence and ask for God to bless them. Amen. I ask, dear Lord, that you bless this crowd, that you bless these people, no matter which side of the political spectrum you're on, that you understand and know that God is in our presence, and that we understand and feel his presence in our lives, and accept his peace and his goodness and his love in our lives. I pray that all of you get home safely tonight, and that today you will learn and understand another side of the story. I pray for the police that are here, that they also return to their families tonight, unharmed and safe. And I pray for these United States, our leaders, our people. Dear God, help us as a nation and a people. Help us to overcome all of the differences that strike between us. Help us to live, to love, and to serve you as your servants, and to come together as one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Help us, dear Lord, to put aside our troubles and put aside all of the things that come between us. And I pray for the J6 patriots who are still locked up in prison that are denied their rights, who are merely political prisoners. May you find the grace and the strength, may they find the strength and the goodness, and feel your love to overcome their hardships that they're now enduring, and may they have the rights that they are guaranteed under our constitutions. And I pray especially for the men and women of our armed services. May you watch over them, help them and guide them. Hold them and their families in your hands and protect them as they protect us. Bless them and their families for the selfless acts they do in our time of need. In these words I pray to you, Jesus Christ, or whatever God you believe in. Amen.
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 Yeah, and now we're going to have Ned lead us in the pledge. So, thank you.
Okay. The Pledge of Allegiance.
Hold her up, brother. Hold the flag. Hold it up. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you.
Now, this is a little bit of a different turnout than we had several months ago at the Department of Justice. Who here was at that rally? And I recognize some faces. Now, who here was at the rally we had at the prison? A little bit of a bigger crowd. We actually have one person who was also here, or a couple that were also with us at the United Nations a few weeks ago. Can we hear from y'all? But you see the crowd now. And this is because of persistence. Our message is reaching our fellow American citizens. We already have poll numbers that show essentially half of the public believes that the government is holding political prisoners. That came from Rasmussen. And it's not partisan. 45% of Democrats agree with that. In fact, yesterday, I had a wonderful interview, which is you can see the full live stream because I don't chop it up. Put the full live stream up with my good new friend from MSNBC, Miss Yasmin. And after the interview, a guy who had watched the whole thing, I've never recognized before, came up and started to be rather critical of the line of questioning, saying that it was completely misrepresenting what this rally was about, that they can't paint every person hitting a police officer with a fire extinguisher or violence like that, or destroying doors or other property, with the people who walked in a few hours later not knowing what they're doing and are now domestic terrorists. They can't be painted with the same broad brush. And what was interesting to me is he said, look, I'm a liberal Democrat. This isn't about President Trump or Biden or your political party. This is about human rights, and this is about civil rights. And I'm going to bring somebody up to say the pledge who's been persistent and consistent with us. She's been at all of our rallies. Ms. Monk, will you please get up here, I'm sorry, and sing the national anthem for you? She has a beautiful singing voice. And she's actually, and look, this touches on many other issues. When we were at that prison, we also said a prayer for the many others incarcerated who have nothing to do with J6, who've been abused in the prison system, and I'm sure it's endemic everywhere. And this is an issue that should concern every moral human being. And it's something that concerns me, and I know many of or all of our Look Ahead America supporters here. And she is a champion for this cause here in D.C. She wasn't necessarily on her side politically, but she saw the treatment of those people on January 6th in the prison right now, particularly those who have not been charged with violence. And she's been a long-time advocate for the many people held in that prison. Really proud to have her joining forces with us. Mrs. Monk, please sing a beautiful national anthem like I know you can.
I just want to first say thank you to Matt, and I don't just mean thank you for that interview or that introduction. I want to say thank you for the work that you are doing on behalf of American citizens who are over in that detention center right now. And I also want to let you know, for everybody thinks that your voice doesn't matter, that you can't do anything. Well, me and a small group of people like Matt have been fighting since April, since March, since January to get awareness to not only these inmates for January 6th, but the torment that is going on in our detention center due to the COVID protocols. They are forced vaccinating people. They are coercing people by keeping them in solitary confinement, and they've been doing that all year. We fought. We called Congress. We wrote letters. We went on interviews. And we got four members of Congress to go knock on the door. They were turned away by the fascists who run that prison. But we moved Congress with phone calls so you could do it too. Never give up your ability and your voice to make a difference. This country is for all of us. It's for all of us Americans on the right and on the left, everyone who loves freedom, everyone who believes that freedom still lives under that flag I'm going to sing about right now.
Hold on, before you do that, remember, I am Brian Moshtar. I am master of the universe, God.
Okay.
I am telling you this. Me and my wife are raped and murdered. The quantum is mine and hers. Do not forget this. Brian Moshtar, my wife, God. Do not forget God.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave to the night not a flag was still there. Oh, state of that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the hope of the brave. Thank you for being brave enough to be here today.
So now, one of the common features of many of our rallies so far is presentations of hearing from family members who were victimized. And to narrate that, I want to introduce somebody who's been a partner in my journey on this. Somebody who, like me, recognized the problem and stood up. Like Paul, who stood up in the leg. That's Erica's wife. She started an organization for citizens against persecution. And she grew that group. Rallies and events together, and I can't tell you how much respect I have. She recognized her power, and she used First Amendment constitutional rights and democratic
It says we the people are pissed.
So please welcome her to the stage. Thank you.
That's what I was shouting down here on January 6th.
Это первый митинг, как он сыграл, но вообще что хоть вариант. Так,
At the bottom of what happened with injustice in war, I believe it's to bring the people and the working people and get among the crowd about the declaration of what our country stands for, the flag. And we need to come together again in unity as one to make America great again. I'm Mohammed saying this.
Are you a veteran?
My father was in World War II Normandy.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well, you're an old guy like me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 60. My dad was in World War II.
You know, shame on the people in the system that put fear in the hearts of American citizens to stay home and to not come out. Many whom have called me and messaged me begging and pleading for me to stay home because they fear for my life and my freedom. What kind of America has this become when people are afraid to come out and protest? This is a peaceful protest. One of the family members of the detainees in D.C. jail who is right now, as we speak, being held in solitary confinement. Her name is Kelly. She's the girlfriend of Jonathan Mellis. I would like to bring her to the stage. Kelly. And she's going to read a letter. So everybody please welcome Kelly.
I'm here for Jonathan Mellis, but I'm going to read another letter that was written by somebody's mother, who actually shares a wall with Joy and is subject to the same torture, including, well, John's in solitary confinement and he has them for no reason. That's a whole story. But last night for dinner they were served 4 pieces of white bread, a cookie, and a packet of tartar sauce. According to them, that's a nutritious meal, and they violated their own rule book on multiple occasions. So I think America needs to become very well versed in the treatment of these men. It's human rights that we're talking about, and it's completely nonpartisan. Amen. Dear Matt Braynard, I just got off the phone after speaking to my son. He's in January 6th detained in the gulag of D.C. Over the months, I have heard of the horrors these U.S. citizens and veterans are being subjected to. Today, I have found out some more indignities forced upon them. He told me he's not allowed to shave or cut his hair. It's been 7 months now with no shave or haircut. As a veteran, he is supposed to be meeting with a veteran representative weekly. He has yet to meet with one. How can our country treat its citizens and veterans in such a manner? As a mother, my heart is broken. I'm losing all confidence in our great nation. Initially, he was granted bail, redacted, only to have it overruled by a judge in D.C. This judge made a statement that she wants all federal judges to be heard on the insurrectionists. How is this allowed? He's not being charged with any violent crime. He's lost his job, lost friends, family is in the process of losing his home. He's denied visits from family. His jailers treat these men like scum. There's absolutely no presumption of innocence. I just wanted to let your organization know of the terrible conditions these brave men are being subjected to. Even death row inmates get haircuts and are allowed to shave. This reminds me of how the Jewish people were treated by the Nazis. I've never thought I would live to see such treatment in the United States. I've watched some of your rallies and wish I could afford to attend. I know that you sometimes read letters by family members. If you should happen to read this letter, please don't reveal his name. I don't want any retaliation to be given to him. Thank you for all of your efforts, and please keep up the good fight. Sincerely, a concerned mother. Thank you for being here. God bless America.
Oh, that's free the Buffalo
Next up, I'm going to introduce Jeff Zink. He's the father of one of the political persecuted, one of the political detainees, and I can't imagine what it would feel like to be a parent and have a child in prison right now being held in solitary confinement with no bail, thinking that you brought this kid up in America where there's a constitution and there's due process, and now your son or your daughter is being held in prison with no bail indefinitely. So I would like to bring Jeff Zink up. He's the father of a political prisoner. Everybody give a hand for Jeff Zink.
I've been calling to the guy without legs, the guy without legs in life. So I'm a little sympathetic because he's one of my brothers. So all right, cool.
This America is about peaceful protest, and that's what I expect all of us to do as well. So why are we here? It seems that this place has decided, and the government has decided to start suppressing American citizens, their First Amendment rights. They can't speak out. It's times like these that good men and women need to stand up that are called by God. What happened on January 6th? I can give you a first-hand account. We, the people, came to hear a message. What we came to do is to go and peacefully let our voices be heard. As Matt said earlier, this is not about Trump. This is not about Democrat or Republican. This is about right and wrong. How are we going to effectively make change? We must speak for those that are silent. We must bring light to what is happening to the prisoners and our fellow American citizens. My son was with me 100% of the time on J6. When the FBI came to my doorstep and interrogated me for an hour and a half.
And if he's got room in the White House, they're going to sell my house for back taxes. I'm going to need a place to live. I hear Lincoln's room is available.
However, my son on
What's your name?
Geraldine Lavelle.
Can you spell it first?
G-E-R-A-L-D-I-N-E. Last name Lavelle, L-O-V-E-L-L.
Oh, Lovell. Okay, cool. I went to school for Lovell.
Lost his job and his home.
Yeah. Same family originally.
He was
Take care.
incarcerated for
Thanks for
6
talking to us.
weeks in D.C. until we finally got an attorney to get him out. So he is out of prison, but what he told me that happened inside there was the fact that they had sales for black mold on the corners, that they were not allowed to see him. He was not allowed to see his attorney or his family members. He went as many days as 5 without shaving or showering. I have personal video.
Cool. Thanks. Hey, where are you from? You from? Oh, I appreciate you.
Are you hiding your eyes or not? Yes, you're hiding your eyes. Okay, got it. All right, got it.
What's going on today?
Actually, I really don't understand what's happening today. From what I gathered, they're here for justice for the people who were arrested or killed on January 6th.
I will not be one of those that are going to be
I don't get it. I was there on January 6th. I saw exactly what happened, and same thing I'm doing now. I've got a lot of footage. So when I hear a lot of people get on radio shows and stuff and spew lies, it's scary and it hurts. Yeah.
So you think people are divided artificially, or you think it's a genuine division, or?
I think people have been divided for a long time. I think when Trump was president, it made those people who were scared to voice their opinion on how they felt. It gave them that energy to come out and do it. So that's why you see between then and now, there's been more like hate and just, it's insane. So, you know, I come out here, I ride my bike out here every day, and whenever there's a Trump rally, I get harassed all day. I'm used to it.
It's part of your regular routine. Yeah?
It's my regular routine. I live here, you know, so I enjoy my city. So it was hard to see what happened on January 6th.
Can we get your name, sir?
My name's Trey Williamson.
Can you spell it first so we get it right?
TREYWILLIAMSON.
And you're from D.C.?
I'm from Virginia, Burke, Virginia.
Okay. And Black Lives Matter, were you at the rallies last summer? Or?
Oh yeah, I was there when Trump held the Bible upside down. I'm out here every day. So yeah, I was there for that. Another insane day, you know. We're just out there protesting, but as with any, there's a pocket of people who create the violence, and it looks like everyone that's there to represent were, you know, taking part in that. So, and I saw it at the January 6th. There were people who were here who were surprised that they started rushing the Capitol.
He is deemed an extremist, a domestic terrorist. Hell, we are all, if you listen to the media, but for what? A political ideology? And even with all that, I consider us blessed. Guy gets to have his
in a fascist coup, and that the people of America will not stand for it.
What do you think, when you got here, how many people, is this the crowd you expected? Were you thinking more people would show up?
I wasn't expecting a lot of people because Everyone I've talked to is expecting another false flag attack like on the 6th.
Why do you think the January 6th was a false flag?
Because there were FBI agents, BLM and Antifa members that snuck in, tried to get violent. Some of them were caught and escorted out by patriots. The police officers were ordered to let people in, and a certain police officer, I put that in quotation marks, was ordered to shoot someone at random so they could say it was a deadly riot. That person happened to be a Air Force veteran and mother of 2, Ashley Babbitt.
Were you here that day?
Won't answer that.
Not saying you were inside, not saying you actually did anything, but were you here?
I will not say anything about myself or where I have been anywhere ever.
Okay. All right. So, is it, frankly, is it demoralizing to see that there's more reporters than ralliers here today?
Like I said, I'm not surprised because, again, a lot of people were expecting a false flag attack today. So, the police have been ordered to use deadly violence at their discretion.
What do you think this is going to do to future rallies that center around the same ideology?
What this event will do, or what the left is doing as regards to the
lack of turnout today, actually? I
don't know. Since everything has been assumed to be a false flag setup ever since the 6th, I expect many people will stay away from any event, period. Unless a full-blown civil war breaks out, and even then many people won't get involved for your personal safety.
So you think that, now that those seeds of doubt, let's say, as to whether any
certainty of doubt.
Yeah. You think that that's going to pretty much eliminate the chance of any large gatherings going forward?
No, I don't think it will eliminate the chances.
Okay. All right, but you still don't think that people are...
Okay. We the people will not be intimidated, and we will not retreat. We the people will not leave our patriots to waste away in jail without a voice, without liberty. Give it up for the letter from Nicole Brock.
Could I interview you?
Who unfortunately was able to make it today.
Can you drop the signs just for while we talk?
Because her computer was taken by the FBI.
Let me get my focus. Stand by.
I'm coming to DC to
You want the Capitol in the background?
speak on behalf
Yeah, actually.
of our
Thank you.
in DC prison.
Preferred. Thank you. So tell me, what... stand by. Let me get this set. Okay. Let me get it from this side instead. So what do you think of today? How's it going today?
Well, there's a lot of media attention, obviously, to anybody that's holding up a sign is getting asked about it. I came down here because I believe we need to rebuild unity.
Actually, I'm getting so much audio from there. I gotta actually, Let's just walk and I'll face we'll put the washing monument behind you. This is good. But and I'll see the sign separately. Yeah. Cool. Thanks. So you came down here and what did you discover?
Well, I came down here. This January 6th event was all about democracy. It was because they were furious because Trump told them the election had been stolen. And so they got outraged. And I'm glad to see that outrage. If they think the election was stolen, let's talk about it. But let's not invade the Capitol building. We had problems with George Bush's elections twice. And, we didn't go in and try to attack the certification process. We need to talk about it, and that's why I came down here today, was to make that outreach, to try and engage a discussion about integrity and transparency in our elections. And that's a discussion that I'm very glad that the Republicans are finally starting to want to address, apparently. But the way they're addressing it across the country in state after state, Republican-controlled states, they're working to suppress the vote. They say they're working to make voting easier and cheating harder, but the effect of what they're doing is just the opposite. They're making voting harder and making it easier for legislators who are in control to manipulate the election. So it's a disingenuous interest, although I believe that for Republicans as a whole, that honest democracy is a real value, because it's been our proudest birthright. We go to war over democracy. You know, come on. So let's keep it honest.
So.
Do you mind if I ask you that on camera, or like over there?
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't want to hear these people screaming? Isn't it fun? No, but I just don't. That's too bad. That's why you can't speak that well. Yeah. So I don't know.
No. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
But I don't know if you like that answer. I don't know how to answer.
Honestly, I'm looking for an honest answer. Whenever we
want their country not to attend a peaceful protest to advocate against the abuses being perpetrated on U.S. citizens for the events of January 6th. I take personal offense, and so does everybody here. You have attacked the rally that I am co-hosting. You are directly responsible for stripping away the constitutional rights of millions of American citizens that do care and want to stand up and attend this rally, but you fear-mongered them into not coming. How could you be so heartless to desecrate our First Amendment constitutionally protected right to peacefully assemble? You have abused your power and platform as Speaker of the House to libel and slander us. You have abused your platform to contaminate the jury pool by calling January 6th detainees killers and saying everyone here today is here to support killers. Nobody was killed that day besides American citizens, and that was not by any detainee. Thank you. And thank you to the mainstream media for saying this was going to be a white supremacy rally. Do I look like a white supremacist to you? I'm Chinese and Italian. I'm a feminist. I voted for Barack Obama twice. I voted for Bill Clinton, and then I voted for Donald Trump twice. That's right. I am not a white supremacist, and I am sick and tired of the narrative that people that support these prisoners and that support justice in America and freedom are white supremacists. It's a means to divide and distract us, and I'm asking you, mainstream media, to please stop dividing and distracting the American people. Please stop dividing and distracting us. We have more in common than we have different, but according to you, we should be enemies. My website is and my name is Kara Kashnova. Please follow me on social media so that you can get all the information on all the 4 deaths that they said were natural causes, so you can find out the name of the police officer who beat Roseanne Boylan as she lay on the Capitol steps unconscious. We have the video, and there's other video under court order that cannot be released to the public that people have seen, where it clearly shows that a DC Metro police officer beating her senseless. And there's patriots being charged in prison right now for trying to help her and trying to get the police officers off of her. That is why they're being held right now in DC prison. The website is www.citizensapp.us or www.thepeoplesjanuary6thcommission.com. My name is Kara Kashnova. If you want to see the video, please talk to me after the rally. I have no problem showing it to you. Thank you, Matt Braynard. This is a peaceful, amazing event, just like he said it would be on the news. A lot of times you guys refuse to report on. Peaceful protest, everybody. Not insurrection part 2, sorry. Thank you so much, Matt, for all you do.
Now that's a tough act to follow. And I thank God every day that we found each other and that she has the courage to stand up and do what she did. She did it all on her own. She just woke up one day and saw an injustice and acted. And any one of you can do the same. So I want to make a little reminder. We've got a wonderful security force. The Capitol Police and the other police forces who come far and wide to make sure this is a safe event are doing a fantastic job. Let's have another round of applause. I know it's hot out here. I know this is the last thing they want to be doing today, but they're doing their duty. We're proud of them and we're grateful. But I want you to also know that you have a role in the security here too. If you see any funny business, anything suspicious, all of you have a television studio right on your pocket. Take it out, record it. And if somebody's causing trouble, they're going to have a bad time. We're going to make them famous, okay? So I appreciate your cooperation in that. So there have been some members of Congress who have been stepping forward and helping to lead in this fight, and we're very grateful to them. They're very grateful to them. Actually, let's have a round of applause for those who went to the prison, who signed letters. But there's a problem. There are far too many who haven't done anything. In fact, there are far too many who are actually lying about what we're doing today, as Kara told you. And in fact, the political leadership has advised them not to participate in our rallies today. Now, I read the Constitution. I think maybe you read the same Constitution I did. My understanding is that the elected officials that we send from our states and congressional districts, that they're supposed to work for us and represent us. That we're their bosses, right? Who is their boss? And I think that some of them have forgotten that. Some of them seem to be more afraid of the political leadership up there than they are of their constituencies. And I mean that in an entirely peaceful way. But you guys, when you go back to your states and hopefully attend some of the 17 or more state rallies we have coming up in the next couple of weeks,
we're here to talk to them.
Now, we do have two extremely courageous gentlemen, and you know, I say even better than the congressman, because there's not only our two soon-to-be and the amount of coverage, and I want to make it clear to you, both of these guys, we set out the open call and said, hey, if you're running for office, you're a legit candidate.
Oh, you guys, they're not arresting anybody. Oh, they're just
Give him a beer, I bet he'll take it.
PG down Maryland Avenue.
Why is it ordered? There's an entire border patrol that's they got that convocado. Yeah. They spent billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars.
What are you trying to do?
Our God-given constitutional rights. That's what makes our country.
I got rain, freeze, cold waters, y'all. Ice cold waters. Stay hydrated. I got you hydrated.
And it is our government's duty to protect our rights, not to use them or our law enforcement as political pawns to advance an agenda. We are also a nation of laws, and those laws should apply to every American citizen equally, not politically. I chose to attend this rally. I chose to attend this rally in support of our constitutional rights and the laws that govern our nation and the laws that govern those J-sick political prisoners that are being held today. Now, I don't want to pretend to know who's innocent and who's guilty.
Should I have beer?
preventing American citizens from expressing their First Amendment rights. And the current administration, they have me believe that currently detainees and doing treatment since they looked at these protesters. No, that's not true. What we do have is the media. They want you to believe it.
You got beer? Yeah. You got beer?
Step back a little, please. Thank you. You're in line. Keep it on. He's our security. We're with CNN.
They tried to single to your boss.
I don't know who it is. We're trying to tell you.
Hey, push it back. You can walk back. I don't know. I'm trying to show you my ID. Step back. Security. I need you to step back.
For a man with a gun. Does he have a gun on him?
He does not have a gun. He's been checked already this morning by you guys. He does not have a gun.
Tracy, come back.
Another individual in the back rehab.
We got this chief going.
Oh, that's a free closet. We're about to do a live shot.
Yeah, but it's still public space. It's pretty evidence. Yeah. Leave your arms out. Leave your arms out. Straight up and down.
I need y'all to move back. These two ladies right here, move back. Thank you.
I returned to Congress in Washington during this Thank you all so much for being out here. We're all here for the same reasons because we know
our brothers and sisters, our fellow Americans, regardless of what walk of life they're from, what political...
Back up. Move out.
And that's just here. Sorry.
I was serving this country, the thing I have in common with those I went to war with is that we're all Americans. Our political leaders,
a coup in the United States. They try to commit treason in the United States. They try to destroy the democratic process. Then they will be held accountable for that.
Tell me, what's the vibe walking around? Are you okay? Or
Oh, the vibe is overkill from the side of the police. There's way too much police presence, dressed in militaristic kind of gear, which I don't like. There's more police here than there are people at the rally by far. The whole surrounding of the Capitol with fences I don't agree with. It's the people's house. It should be open. Just having people, the police on guard, ready to act if they were needed, would have been a better way to deal with this. But in any case, I feel like the vibe for the last couple of days has been one that we knew there were only going to be a couple of hundred people here. And yet the different police forces were so afraid of being caught once again that they went into overdrive. I would say we have to find a happy medium here, which is to respect people's right to protest, and this is obviously a peaceful protest today, but not to allow it to get out of hand as happened on January 6th, which could have been easily prevented.
Thank you. You're a rational voice.
Forefathers who gave us these rights, who fought the revolution. It's about every single veteran who's ever deployed overseas, who's ever been killed. It's for everyone in Arlington National Cemetery. And it's for all these law enforcement officers, too. The law enforcement officers are on the front lines every single day defending our rights. They're defending our rights, putting their lives on the line day in, day out. I'm extremely grateful for all of them that are here today. I'm extremely grateful for all of them that were present on January 6th. They are not our enemies. Our enemies are those that will deny people of their constitutional rights and then take a narrative that labels all of us as terrorists or insurrectionists for just questioning things. It's our God-given right and duty as Americans to actually question things, to question the narrative. That's our job. Can't thank all of you enough. Keep the shoulder to the wheel. We are the majority of the country. Keep speaking out. We will take this country back. God bless America. Thank you.
USA!
Capital
USA! 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 USA!
Hey, Robert, we ready to start rolling pictures and stuff? Okay. So I want to show you guys. Show you guys the insurrection. Robert, give us A. Let's see A on the screen. Now I don't know if you guys can see that quite from the sunlight. It looks like the picture's a little cropped, but that's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez leading. No, do not boo her. No, we're not booing people today, okay? We're not booing people. But that is her insurrection, right? At the Speaker's office, interfering with government business, trespassing, parading. Let's see the next picture. B, let's go to B, Robert. This man has not been accused of violence. This man has not been accused of destruction of property. He has been accused of dressing horribly, I think. It's a matter of opinion. But what he did that day, and if anybody did anything similar, does not deserve 9 months in solitary confinement. Without conviction. No conviction, 9 months in prison. Denied bail, denied medical care. He is suffering. In fact, his mother was going to come speak to us today, but she was intimidated out of her First Amendment rights, out of fear, out of all the fear-mongering surrounding this. So,
all of you are out here for her because she could not be out here. Let's go to the next, let's go to C, because this is kind of the point. Let's go to C2, Robert. I'm sorry, let's go to B2, Robert. Let's go to B2. Now, I put that up there because I showed you one picture and showed you the second picture, and choose the same picture. It's people exercising the First Amendment rights in the wrong way. And I admit it's stupid, and I admit there should be a penalty to it. I support it. The thing is that historically, at the Kavanaugh hearings, where people were arrested over and over again for storming the Senate office building, they stormed the hearing. They arrested, bailed out, went back into the same thing that day, over and over again. It's the same picture. You know, Robert, let's see C. I know, because it's a meme. A and B are the same picture. That's the joke, right? Forgive me if that one went over anybody's head. A and B, AOC, and our shaman friend. It's the same picture. They're doing the same thing, engaging the same behavior, but very different outcome. Why? Not because of what they did, but because of what they believe. That is unconstitutional, that is immoral, and that's what makes them political prisoners. So let's go to image C, please. Now, whenever the media, whenever I've been interviewed lately of the protests on January 6th, even though I expressly say anybody engaged in violence belongs in prison, we're solely here for those who have not been charged with any kind of violence activity, assault, or destruction of property. They always run the B roll next to me because that's how disingenuous it is. That's just how they operate, right? Can't do anything about it, really. But that's pretty much, those are the people we're talking about. These are folks who are assembled in factories and being peaceful. Now, let's see image B, please. So those are people illegally assembled in that building, being rounded up by police officers with zip ties. They were all released that day and fined between $35 and $50.
Being rounded up in the middle of the night and dragged to Washington, D.C., denied bail, have their lives destroyed, losing their homes, losing their jobs, in some cases losing their marriages because of the stress of it all. These people did exactly the same thing. Released that day. No one called it insurrection. Media barely reported on it. And when they did report on it, it was favorably. Robert, let's roll video F, please. Let's roll video F. We're only going to roll it for the first couple of minutes. Turn up the volume, please, if you can. So this is footage, I can annotate it. This is footage of President Trump's inauguration. It's a large crowd, clad in all black, violently attacking the police, trying to penetrate the lines, the secure border where the inauguration was taking place. They assaulted police officers, they destroyed property, they actually injured a journalist and his sound guy. Cars were destroyed, businesses were destroyed. Now, we never heard the word insurrection. We never really heard too much of it. Protesters blockaded the White House. Sunshine Group or something. They were arrested and released that day. No long-term consequences, no FBI visits, no lost jobs. In fact, with the little media that did cover them, reported them mostly as heroes. We cannot have a two-tier justice system in this country based on what you believe in. I don't care what your political stripe is. It's intolerable, and we're going to stand up and continue fighting for these people. And look, I also happen to talk to my good friend who's here, my new friend from MSNBC, Miss Yasmin. I asked her a question yesterday. I said to her, you know, the Capitol Police leadership, you know, they announced that 6 officers have been sanctioned after 30 investigations into their behavior on January 6th. Now, I asked her, do you know what they were sanctioned for? I got a blank stare back. And the reason, it's not her fault. It's because they haven't said. It's just an ambiguous press release saying 6 officers were sanctioned, had their careers damaged for something that happened on January 6th. That's the same problem that we're pointing to. And here's the thing. Maybe what they were sanctioned for, maybe that's unjust too. Maybe they're just like our brothers and sisters in the prisons. Maybe they're facing sanctions for political reasons or being scapegoated. We don't know. We demand transparency.
The Trump supporters are terrorists. All Trump supporters are homegrown terrorists. Get their ass out to Gitmo. You said all the Trump supporters to Gitmo? All the insurrectionists to Gitmo? Maybe like give them the death penalty, fuck it. Oh yes, they're not political prisoners. They are terrorists. All Trump supporters that insurrected the Capitol, you are not political prisoners. You are fucking domestic terrorists.
And they need to demand to know exactly what those 30 charges were, how they were adjudicated. We're on the same side here, guys. So, I want to close with something here, because I don't want to keep you guys too long. I want to get everybody out here safely, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to applaud you for a moment, because it took real courage to come out here today. You have my respect, and I also am eternally grateful to each of you for trusting me. Because I was the one that told you to come out here. I was the one that told you you get here safely. It wasn't a false flag. And so many voices on the left called you killers and slandered you. And so many of the, I call them armchair patriots on the right, said this is a false flag attack, and that you shouldn't come. And my inbox is full. I constantly hear from people, you should call it off. Don't do it. But you stood up, you withstood that. And look, this is about a very important cause, but it's also broadly about something much more important, because the political leadership in this country, it's a dirty secret, okay? When you're upset about a political problem and you're angry, they actually want you to do what happened on January 6th. They want violence from us. They want us to cross the line. They want us to destroy property. They want us angry. Because when you break the law, they can deal with you very easily, as you've seen. They send the FBI after you, go into the gulag. Especially if you're guilty, you deserve it. But that's what they want, because it's easy to deal with the political opposition that's violent. But what's the lesson that we've learned from people like Gandhi, or Martin Luther King, or the civil rights movement in this country? I'll tell you what terrifies them. This is what terrifies them. A peaceful assembly of the American First Right. We're operating within the law. We respect the Constitution. We love the First Amendment. We love our police officers who have a very difficult job. When we show up at school board meetings and use our First Amendment rights, when we educate our state legislators, when we come to Washington and demand justice, peacefully, orderly, this is what terrifies them. This is why they didn't want you to come. But we're not going to be stopped. Peaceful community organizing from this day forward belongs to us. And I know that many here, many watching are upset about the election. I understand it. I'm upset too. But the reaction that we saw on January 6th, it was stupid, it was wrong. And what I'm asking you, anger is dangerous. Anger gets turned inward, it's self-destructive. And it spills out and becomes destructive in the world. What I'm asking you to do is to take your anger and channel it into something productive. And to channel it into working as a volunteer with Look Ahead America or Citizens Against Political Prosecution. Work within the law, work peacefully. Do not give up on our Constitution. Do not give up on our country. Do not give up on voting. Do not give up on petitioning our government.
God bless the Proud Boys.
Take that energy and give it to Look Ahead America. Help us make this a better country. Help us save this country. Help us fix our election system.
Help us get justice. Help us get our schools to respect our history and our founders. Sign up with us. Volunteer with us at lookaheadamerica.org. We will put you to work, and it will be difficult.
was the CEO of Costco, I'd like to chat with him because we're doing God's work. They should be nice to us. Those are our people at Costco. It's hard to register voters. It's hard to write letters. It's hard to come out on a day. It's easy to sit behind a computer and type and spread disinformation and fear. That's easy. Coming out here is hard, and you will forever have my respect for coming out here today. You will forever have my gratitude. And if you ever happen to cash me out in the civilian world, tap me on the shoulder, I owe you a beer. Not today, though. Not all at once, please. My wife will kill me. So look.
I was telling them that I don't need protected, and please let me distract MAGA and don't let me distract you. But they said I either had to go or got to be arrested, basically. So I had to come down here. So I'm good with that. They're very very dependable. And, just saying, it was what they wanted. So I'm like, okay.
Hey, what's your name? Nonviolent people. This is about the lack of transparency. This is about the great cause that Paris has indicated that there will be additional victims that day, and we need transparency. We need that to be.
The very government that supports defund
Let's get Susan. Maybe the journalists will join in with this, because this is First Amendment stuff, right? Come on, journalists. Release the video! Release the video! Release the video!
Release the video! Release the video! It's a First Amendment thing, folks. Don't worry. Yasmin, if you start cheering with us, I won't tell your boss. We won't get you fired for cheering with us. So, I want to bring things to a close here, but I do want one more round of applause, because look, a lot of the guys that are out here today, they're doing their best to do their job. They're ordered here by political leadership who, I appreciate everyone keeping us safe today. I'm a little bit of overkill, but look, I respect it. Hey, I'm in the business of community organizing, okay? That's what I am. I'm an America First community organizer, and someday all of you will be too. But setting up and keeping us all safe, that's not my area of expertise. I really respect the people who came out. The Capitol Police have done a wonderful job communicating with us, letting us know. I want to thank, I actually would like to thank the individual officers by name, but that will only get them in trouble. So they know who they are, the ones you've been talking to and this community been working with. You have our eternal gratitude and respect. So let's have a round for all the police officers out here today, from Virginia, from Maryland, from, I think they flew in a SWAT team from Puerto Rico. They were so worried about us. And I want to give us some exit instructions, okay? So DC is historically a pretty dangerous city. What I'm asking you to do is, I want you to leave. We're going to play exit music, and my good new friend Robert knows what we're going to play on exit.
Fuck Antifa. Don't worry about them.
On your way out, give a smile and a wave to any cop you see, okay? Just give them a smile and wave. Tell them we appreciate their service. Any journalists, just smile, but keep on walking. But stay in groups, at least until you get out of the District of Columbia, because believe it or not, unlike other rallies, I take your safety personally. It's my personal responsibility, and I'm going to be the last one to leave here along with my security team. So the sooner you get out of here, the sooner I can get out of here, and we're going to do this again someday, and we're going to keep fighting. This battle doesn't end today. In fact, I think this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the America First right taking over community organizing in this country. I'm so proud of you I could cry. I'm so proud of you all.
USA! 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 USA!
So, God bless you all. Leave in large groups. If you see somebody walking out alone, say, hey, why don't you come with us? At least until you're out of the District of Columbia. And I want you to stay safe. And look, again, you had to ignore a lot of people that told you not to come today. You heard it from everywhere. But I want you to go back out there and tell them that we're not giving up on this. We're not giving up on protest culture. We're not giving up on petitioning our government. We're not giving up on the First Amendment. And we're not going to be tempted by the dark voices saying that apathy and even violence are the only answers. We reject that. And you go back home and you told them you came today, and you tell them what you saw. And anybody that told you that this was a false flag attack or a trap or anything like that, remember their names and never trust them again. God bless you all. America first,
America forever! Now go home, please. Thank you.
That's how you end around.
It should be like, we should do speed.
That's what they keep over,
Thank you. God bless you.
Take mine.
It's a wonderful life, it's a wonderful life. Traversing tears from the heavens. My heart is a melodrama in fact. Set alight by echoes of pain, 24/7, 24/7. I dream, I smile, I walk, I cry. I dream, I smile, I walk, I cry. You might not say that it's a wonderful world, and it's a wonderful